Hello, Naresh. Hi, how are you doing? Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, Laura. Hey, good to see you. Yes.
Buongiorno.
Buongiorno. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Yes. Oh, no. Naresh, your audio is not working.
Yeah, I was muted. I would like Clemens. We would like everybody to mute till there is a necessity to speak.
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying to Yasushi that it must be very late there.
4 o'clock in the morning.
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
Ah.
Wow.
Ohayo gozaimasu.
おはようございます。
Yeah. Yeah. So my name is Clemens Rother. I'm from Munich, Bavaria. So we are having 9 o'clock p.m. now.
No, 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I would request everybody to keep silent and be what do you say?
Yes. Certainly.
No. There are a lot of people that need to be admitted, you know, but they're joining. So I think we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 people.
How many should be there? How many you expect?
26.
Hello.
We expect 26 people. So there's Varun.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm Henry Yang, just in case you don't know me. I'm joining from Santa Barbara.
We're almost ready.
Okay. Hi, Naresh. Hi to everyone.
Hi everybody. So here comes the birthday. There he is. Happy birthday.
I don't see him yet.
He's muted. He's muted. You have to go on the right hand side. There is a grid where you can see all the people who are logged in. So we have to unmute Professor Tsai. Okay. Now you should be unmuted.
You hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay.
Wish you a very happy birthday from everybody.
Oh, thank you so much.
Happy birthday, Professor Tsai.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Happy birthday.
Oh, heavens.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Happy birthday.
All the best.
Happy birthday.
Wow. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, 生日快乐.
Happy birthday.
Oh, his adjunct. How are you?
Happy birthday.
I'm doing fine.
Oh, it's early.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Let's give it this.
Happy birthday, Steve.
Yes, yes, Laura. Well, thank you.
So-
nice of you.
生日快乐, Steve. This is Henry Yang here.
Yes. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
The year went pretty fast. This is a bad year for so many people. So we're so fortunate. I was born 1929, not 1930. So we're very, very happy. Wow. So
Right.
nice.
Happy birthday, Professor Tsai. This is Varuna.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much.
So
Happy birthday, Professor. This is Sanguk.
Yes, thank you, Saul.
Happy birthday, Professor. This is Pranav.
Oh, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Nice to see you.
Happy birthday from Philippe as well.
Oh, that's so nice of you.
So we have almost everybody who was supposed to join has joined.
Yes.
And what we'd like to do is, of course, everybody wants to say happy birthday to you, and that is what we are here for. But George has a message for you.
Yeah.
And after that, we would start this short meeting.
Sure.
Well, Steve,
Yeah, sure.
we have been together over 60 years, and I must say that I never known an individual like you who affected so many people's lives. Just like you see, look at the screen here, and you see the people here, and you
Yes.
affected our lives professionally and personally. And I don't think in the professional field there is anybody who matters who didn't get to work with you and who was not started with you or helped after they were on their career. And that's a remarkable achievement. And I think that's the most important thing, more important than the Tsai failure criteria or the double, because that comes and goes. But these people will carry on your legacy forever. And that's fantastic. Happy birthday.
Well, thank you so much, George. Couldn't have met a better person. George and I met when we were graduate students together. That was 1960 or 59 or whatever.
59.
Yeah. And so we've been together many, many years. We had our ups and downs, but we all came through well. Our family knew each other, and so that's really a great friendship. So
I thought I would like to. So we have Carlos. Carlos has grown a big beard in this time. You see, he was there at your last anniversary last year. So
what's that beard doing? I don't recognize him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Professor Tsai. The beard is something that comes with the isolation.
So it'll filter out coronavirus, I believe.
Yeah.
Hey, Carlos.
So what happened was that last year when we had visited Palo Alto, I had spoken with George and a few other people, and I discussed with them that there was something that was in my mind that we thought that we could make happen. And everybody on this is party to the crime that I have committed. And the crime is that we have created something which is a tribute to you, to all the work that you have done and all the joy that you have given to us for so many years, and not just us, everybody who knows about what you have done. So we proposed to name the trace of matrix Q as size modulus. And it has, and if you look into your mailbox, you will see a paper right now.
Yes.
You can open up that paper. I think this is the first time you're seeing that paper. So what happened was that I drafted the abstract and what was the idea of the paper, and I showed it to quite a few people. And George was one of the first. There was Jocelyn, who is also in the group now. You see her, she just joined.
Right. Wow, that's quite.
Yeah, she's there. And I showed it to quite a few people who are in this group, and everybody was delighted to be part of it. And that is how this thing came into being. And we are officially going to start using. And Albertino was the guy who actually put in a lot of work in order to expand what I had put in. And this paper is now part of has been published, has been accepted for publication. And we would officially start calling trace of Q as size modulus.
Oh, that is such a wonderful thing. I'm really.
So I will leave the thing to George and to Jocelyn and to Professor Miano, Tom Han. All of them were Daniel. All of them were part of it. So anybody who wants to say something about it, please do. One by one, you unmute yourself and you can say what you want.
Okay, let me begin. This is Henry Yang here. 60 years ago, when I was a junior, I learned the Young's modulus. That was the first time I learned in strength of material. Now, 60 years later, I learned the size modulus.
That's fantastic.
It's a young size modulus. Very young Tsai, 91.
Wow, that is something totally surprised. I'm really humbled, I tell you. That is so nice. That is so nice. Thank you, Henry. I remember, Henry, that you used to come down from Purdue to Wright-Patterson and visit people at Flight Dynamics Lab. And then your family would stay in the parking lot and while you were doing the business. And I always remember how well you were liked by the people there, respected by the people. And one of your students, Steve Donaldson, he worked with us all his career, and also your other students. So we were so happy to have a chance to know you personally, and also, of course, Maria was a student at Stanford, and we were at her wedding, and so there are so many happy memories, and we're so happy for you to achieve to be the chancellor of Santa Barbara, UC Santa Barbara, all these years with all the difficulty with the students, and there are probably more difficulty in the days to come. So we wish you all the best.
Well, I also want to say, when I went to see you in 1976 to Wright-Patterson, to Materials Lab to see you at that time, because I was asking you for grant. So you gave me a grant on the composite materials, which was very, very helpful. That's how I could have all of those students. I wanted to say a belated thank you.
Oh, and also the wonderful times we had at Berkeley with George, you know, the workshop at Berkeley. And every year we would get together, and those were great years. And you were there, and Jocelyn was there many years. And so you know, George was there all the time. And so we're blessed with all the wonderful association with people. And in fact, we went through Berkeley 17 workshops. I still hear from some former students at the workshop, and it makes you feel very, very good, and to have contributed something to their career.
Would you like to say something, Daniel? You need to unmute yourself.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, hello, Professor Tsai, and it's so nice to see so many friends in this group. I have to say that this was all Naresh's idea, and we all joined his idea. And we have in this video conference, it is maybe a small group of people, but we for sure will represent thousands of people that had their lives changed after getting to know you. I'm sure of that. We in this group had the privilege of knowing you not only as the famous Tsai, a famous researcher, but also as a very, very special human being. So we are here basically to thank you for your generosity and for everything that you have done to each one of us, and also to so many people all over the world. Happy birthday, and we hope that you have a long life, a healthy life, and you and your family. And thank you so much. We cannot say thank you enough. You are indeed a very special person. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Daniel. We had some wonderful times together, and thank you for your contribution. And also, you have moved on to be the department chair, to be the dean, to be the provost, to be the vice president. I don't know what your current title is, but we're so happy to see one of us made it big. It's a big time, running a university of some 20,000 plus students, and that is a credit to you as a person. And we're so happy. So yes, I know some big shots. So
please say hi to Miss Tsai also, to Iris.
I will.
Yeah.
I certainly will. Thank you so much. You and your.
Who would want to go next?
Ajit Roy. Can I go?
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
Hi, Professor Tsai. I want to thank you, and you gave me the chance to come to AFRL. And my true introduction to composites is because of you. Although I did do some work in composites in my grad school, but true knowledge, actual knowledge of composites is because of you and your guidance and mentorship. And since you brought me to AFRL, that has been, I think, as you know, I'm still with AFRL. Has been a blessing to me, and I'm always grateful to you.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ajit. It was always fun having you. And I remember you first came there, and then you were going home to get married. So you stopped by Tokyo. I remember we were in Tokyo, and then you were all excited on your way home to get married, and that was, I remember very well. We were in Tokyo having dinner, and you were ready to go. And now you have a family, a son and a daughter, and the son is a medical doctor and doing well. The daughter just got her master's degree from Stanford, and we're also happy. Well,
Steve,
Josh.
Steve, there is Professor Miano
Yes.
and Tay, and there are 3 people who are actually burning the midnight oil.
Yes, yes.
At 4 a.m., they're at 4 a.m. sitting there in Japan to wish you a happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. That is over and beyond Call of Duties. Thank you.
You need to unmute yourself, yes, Tushi. Oh, I'll do it for you.
Yeah, I thought it was unmuted. Do you hear me?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay.
You're okay.
Yeah, okay.
It was to unmute Miano.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Steve.
Steve.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Steve.
Thank you so much. Staying all night.
I remember 35 years ago in Dayton. 35 years ago, I visited Dayton. So during a very long period of friendship, we organized many symposiums. Of course, Stanford and Tokyo and Europe and many where. Yeah, thank you very much. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. We just want to like to mention that started in 1998 when with Yasushi's help, we were able to get a NSF grant to study the viscoelastic behavior of composites. And so we started a composite durability workshop, and we had the unique feature of that is that the wives decide where the next location should be. And the wives usually pick places like Rio, places like Paris, places like Shanghai, places like Singapore, and they never picked Dayton, Ohio, but anyhow, we had a wonderful time and wonderful memories of many, many people. And we'd like to thank you for having worked with us and set up all these composite durability workshops. And thank you so much.
We also have Tay from Far East.
Hi, Steve. Happy birthday. Was it Terry's turn?
Yes, I hear you. Thank you.
Okay. Hi. Thank you very much, Steve, for everything. You know, we met 20-something years ago in Singapore. You may remember at Iris and you at Chili Crab along the river.
I remember you.
We miss having a great fellowship with you and Iris, and we wish you great and long life. And we are always amazed at your memory and your intellectual power, and how you so magnanimous to all of us. Through you, and I got to know all these wonderful people in this conference. Thank you so much, Steve.
Well, thank you. We remember fondly all our trips, and many of them to Singapore, and how you hosted us and helped us. And there was a wonderful fellowship, and all the wonderful food we had. And so thank you so much. And then you came to our birthday party. You came the furthest last year, and you and Lydia came, and we appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So Steve, it was Jocelyn who was pivotal in helping me organize this. So I'd like to leave her the word now.
Sure.
Steve, we are just so excited from, the first intro to composites with Tsai and Han, talking about invariance, the decades of work, and then the realization 6 years ago about the trace and the power of that, and simplifying the costs and testing by not having to do 4 constants and so on. It's just so significant. But, for me personally, as everyone else has said, 35 years ago, it was funny. I called you up to see if my first job in the military could be working for you, the great Steve Tsai. Your book had reached my research lab at MIT, and they said, if you were on to do composites, that's the place to go. And you said, sure, sure. You always say, sure, sure. And then you said, why don't you come over, and we can talk. And so I drove from Boston home to Chicago by way of Dayton. And the funny parking lot story was that my brother was with me in the car. And when I said that, when I walked in, you're like, oh, bring him in as well. And then sure enough, later then Oliver worked at Materials Lab too, and my sister worked at WritePat. But it was my first job. Oh, can you still hear me? Which was so significant. And I think set up the success for the rest of my career. And it's really been a joy just continuing to watch, see how composites grow, and to keep in touch with you and all the exciting activities. And still now, the presentations you do all the time, you have more energy and more drive than any of us at all. But it's really fun to be in your aura, in your group, with all these people. And all the people on the call also, I feel really close to as well, because always would do some work, and then we would have a good meal together, and we would have Chinese food with really good red wine, and it just made it a really meaningful part of life. And I really appreciate everything that you have done for me, for my family, and the success for the industry. So when Naresh came up with this idea last year, it just resonated. It made total sense. Tsai's modulus, like Young's modulus. And so I think out in the academic literature, it should take hold, and it's, a really great thing. I'm really happy to see that happening and be a part of it. So thank you also. I wanted to thank you, Steve.
Well, we, of course, we go back to your younger days too. But we're so happy to have you at the Wright-Patterson Air Force, and later at Stanford, and then you witness your advances to eventually retire as a major general, and that we don't know many general officers. And then you were giving us the coin. You gave one to Henry. Today it happened to be his birthday also.
Yes,
so
18.
All the happy memories, all the travels. And I always remember we were in Beijing together, and then we went to Manchuria, and you toured the amusement park. You were head and shoulder above all the Chinese. They saw a blonde. They had never seen a blonde before.
Yeah.
And you were hitting the hammer. You remember, and in the park, and so there were so many happy memories. So many happy memories.
Many.
We thank you for your contribution. From the days you were at Wright-Patterson, you're writing a chapter in our composite design book, and you're tireless. You know how to write. You know how to speak. And those are really tremendous assets. And then you play violin, you can sing, you can do everything.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. Whatever. You could cook Chinese food, I don't think. Maybe. So thank you for all the years. And
thank you, Steve.
Many more years yet.
Yes, agreed. Like the palm reader said last year. I thought that was a great message.
Yes, I got at least 9 more years.
Yes.
Not more. So I'll be around. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have Albertino, who did the bulk of work for us. And we have Pedro Camano, who's the boss of Albertino. and Professor Marquez. And all these three have been crucial in adding value to your trace and proving the theories, because they were responsible for getting the testing done. And to show that by tests we could show that the theory really worked. And so I'd give all three of them one by one, whoever wants to take the lead to put in your words.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, Professor Tsai. There's Albertino here. Well, everything was said, so I make Daniel's words my own words. So it's much more than the Tsai's modulus. It's the Tsai's legacy that will remain with all of us. And at least we try to do our best to be good enough to continue and to help in this legacy that is your example as a person, much more than as a researcher. So thanks a lot and happy birthday.
Oh, thank you so much. It was one summer, that was what, 5 years ago or 6 years ago? I can't remember. And you came to Stanford, and you're the first one that's converted using our theory into a practice. You had the run of the finite elements program. You were so diligent and so fast. I remember that. And then you came back the year after, and so ever since, and through your work, you have influenced Airbus to have done things that they're testing and design allowable generations and all that. So we're very, very proud of what you have done and what you can continue to do in the years to come. And daughter growing up, and there was, I told you that the daughters are called 1,000 gold in Chinese. 1,000 gold meaning has at least two meanings. One is how precious the person is, what a daughter is worth 1,000 gold. But it also means when you have to marry her off, it will cost you 1,000 gold also. Those are the things about having her, and wish her well.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks for everything.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is Pedro. I'm Albertino's colleague. And again, Steve, congratulations, first of all, and thank you very much for all your contributions. It has been for us a privilege to collaborate with you, and really the synergies that we found between our work and your work was really critical to carry on the research that we were conducting on fast analysis methods. All the technology that was transferred to companies really resulted from this collaboration. So again, thank you very much, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, Professor Tsai, this is Antonio Torres Marques from Porto again. So thank you very much for everything, particularly your scientific contributions, but above all for your friendship and your youthness. You keep always young. You are always young. So congratulations, happy birthday, and I hope to see you sometime in future. Thank you very much for everything.
You expect to live for him to live forever.
Yes.
I remember one of the earliest times we met is in Paris, to ICCM, I don't know, 3 or 4 or whatever it is. And I remember I still have a picture. We're together.
Yes, that's right.
Allison and you, and I remember very well. And those are the 1980s, so that is, 40 years ago.
That's right.
And you've done very, very well professionally since, so we congratulate you, and it's nice knowing you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So thanks to the folks from Porto, we also have a sort of statement that's going to come out in the Composite Structures magazine, giving a tribute to you.
Oh, thank you.
And we have Varuna, who's been pivotal for us, making again tests as the people in Porto. And so I'll give you the word, Varuna.
Hey, Professor Tsai, happy birthday. Naresh, thanks for this opportunity. And never in my wildest dream, when I took my composite course, I thought I will one day meet this great Tsai, and it was a privilege. I always wonder when I get emails from you 3 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, whether you are in different parts of the world or you actually work 24/7 a day, 24 hours, 7 days a week. But you are truly an inspiration for all of us, generations to come, and it's truly a privilege knowing you.
Well, thank you so much for all these years and your contribution, because getting data is such a difficult situation, because without data, at best, a theory is a speculation. So that you have helped us to put us on track. And many of the basic data that we quote today on double-double came from you. And we appreciate that, because people always say, where are the data? And it's really hard to do, because you have to have the knowledge, you have to have the facility, and you have to have the will to do it. And you put all three together, and we really appreciate your contribution to our team. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome, Professor Tsai.
We have Carlos.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Everybody says how great man Tsai is. Well, he will feel very important, so I'd like to tell you a story about it. He was getting off an airplane with his son, the chef, and there were people waiting very importantly and very happily, and hey, Tsai, 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 and Steve got very, very happy that it is, but it wasn't for him, it was for his son, the chef.
Thanks a lot.
Huh?
Can I give the word to Carlos, because I think he's one of your strongest supporters in South of America.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Naresh. This joke is very interesting because they are celebrities, each one in their fields. Probably the crew in the airport are more like into cooking than the composites, right? But anyway, I'm here maybe to represent Professor Tsai's, PhD students. I don't see anybody else here but Philippe Mann. And I met Tsai at Stanford in 1992 after my calls. And I didn't do well in the calls. So I almost failed. But then I had like a long hair and I had a beard. And he said, well, if you have to work with me, the hair would go and the beard will go as well. So now I'm lazy now because of the isolation, but I usually keep my beard and then my hair trimmed, okay? And it's a pleasure to be working with Tsai for so long. And I'm really nice to say that over these years, we have been even in and out very closely, working closely together with also the workshops and the tutorials. So we're going to have another one now in the end of July. So I'm very happy that I got together with him and extend this relationship for a long time, and that's very meaningful. I made all those words mine, but in particular for me, it has been a guidance, and it's all I know about composites. It comes basically from him. So thank you so much, Professor Tsai. Very, very happy birthday, and long live for you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Carlos, because when Carlos came to my office to find out he'll be one of the students working with me, so I told him the first thing he needs to do is remove the earrings. He was wearing a earring. So the next day, he came immediately with his passport and showed me his picture in the passport, had no earrings. So his earring came after he came to Palo Alto, came to Stanford. So that must have been acceptable. But then during his qualification examinations, George Springer was there too. And we usually ask a standard question about the separation of variables on the partial differential equations. And, but Carlos really didn't know the details, but he had a feel for it. And for some reason, he understood the motivation, and he didn't know who it's a plus or minus, so those are details, but he had the thing, the separation of variables in his own words, and he did very well and passed. So here you are, and you've done well. We're very so happy, and for you and your family. So thank you for all the years of support. All the best.
There's still a few people remaining, but I have to say that this call might end in about 2 minutes time. If it does so, I will arrange another one and send a link to everybody if it stops. So whoever wants to go, please go ahead. I'm not going to call out anyone anymore.
Well, thank you so much for having done, first of all, the article. That took a huge undertaking, and then to arrange this incredible. I'm only sorry Iris is not here. She doesn't sleep very well during the night, so she sleeps in the morning, and so I'm sorry that she didn't join this, and but it was such a wonderful thing that we hear from all of you, and we really thank you for all the effort, and for those who stay up all night, and for this, and for the Mianos who doesn't drink red wine, but it's still will go through the gesture. That was really very, very special for me. Thank you for all, and for what you have done. And then we will, again, as they say, I expect to be around for a while, and that we're pushing double-double, and it's not the easiest thing, but we're fortunately in the last 12 months, we have NASA, we have the Italian Center for Aerospace Research, and quite a number of universities for it. And then I got the advice from Philippe Mann. So there's a French word I cannot say, but in English is smash them in the face. So maybe that's our new slogan, smash them in the face. Now we have some backing from NASA and so forth, and the Air Force Labs. So we'll smash them in the face. Maybe I'll learn how to say that in French, but that would be probably carry more weight. Thank you so much for everything.
But it seems to be that it's going ahead. They haven't stopped the call yet.
Okay.
So I think we can. Means whoever wants to talk, please unmute yourself and do the talking.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Mr. Steve just mentioned me, so this is Felipe speaking. So I was privileged to be one of Steve's students at Stanford. I came to Stanford because I wanted to be my time investment in a PhD worthwhile. I didn't know yet how lucky I would be, so it was definitely a very good time investment. So not only having done extraordinary things in an extraordinary place, but met such a friendly, generous person. And one thing which struck me also, that we are now about 25 years later, and we for 25 years we're still being in contact, on a very regular basis. So that's really amazing, and I'm grateful to it. And so all of you have very well summed up, things. So I will for always be indebted to Steve and Iris. Now, as you will still be around for a while, I think that my debt will go on for still quite a few years. I'll be very, very happy about that. Now, to say a couple of anecdotes. So we have talked about the red wine. I remember when you came back from your long trips, so especially in the Far East, Stanford, and then I would get to your office in Durand building, and then to tell you about the research I did. But then there was so much traffic in your office. Now the secretary, other professors, visitors, and they say, okay, why don't you come at home this evening and we'll open a bottle of wine? Now the first time I was a bit puzzled. I was saying, oh, what's this? But I enjoyed every minute of it, and I think this was so wonderful. And then another striking remark was once in a Chinese restaurant. So you had ordered a chicken feet, and then so you told me, okay, no chicken feet, no PhD. And then poor Iris was saying, "Oh, Steve, I think that you are a little tough there." But such a fun memories. So I've changed quite significantly in my career. So after Stanford, so I'm not dealing with the composites anymore. So I'm more now into optimization, sensitivity analysis, and those things. So it's a different field, but I still have kept an eye remotely on what was going on with your research, and so I'm very happy. So once again, happy birthday, and all the best for the coming years to you, Iris, and your family.
Thank you.
I saw Tom Han trying to speak a few, because we have very short segments left. So Tom, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, happy birthday, Steve.
Oh.
Well, in fact, I wouldn't be in composites if it weren't for you, because I don't know if you remember this, but when I came to AFML, Air Force Materials Lab, I wasn't planning to do composites because I didn't know anything about composites. And I went there to do metal plasticity. But then Steve was my advisor. So one day he came in and then he said, well, if you don't want to do metals, then that's fine. You can choose whatever you want. So then at that time at the materials lab, composites was the real thing. So I decided to switch to composites, and that's how I got into composites. And in fact, when I look back, I owe my whole career to you, Steve, and which I've enjoyed very much. So I want to thank you so much for helping me and leading me into this direction. So thank you very much again, Steve.
Thank you, Tom.
We have Thierry, then Alan, and we have Arakaki. So Thierry, please go ahead.
Yes, happy birthday, Steve. You know, I'm talking for all the family, Massard. You know them very well, and they all want to wish you a very happy birthday, Sebastian, Kevin, of course, Pascal, and so all the family has a great link with your family, and we're very, very happy to be here tonight with you and wish you this very, very happy birthday. Thank you, Steve.
Oh, thank you. We go back, of course, with 1981, and you came to Dayton, and then I spent a year sabbatical, 6 months at your home in your apartment in Paris, and our design book came out of your apartment. And so I always remember those wonderful years with the French food and French wine. And then we were able to do together at the time that was the beginning of Macintosh computers.
We remember your errands at the U.S. Embassy. You were coming back with great stuff like wine and caviar and salmon, and we had great time.
Well, thank you so much for wonderful years. We look for more years yet. So thank you.
And we have Arakaki.
Yes. Happy birthday, Steve. And thanks so much for everything that you gave me the opportunity. I'm very happy to be here with all of you. It's a good moment that today and every time. And I would like to thank Naresh and Albertino to organize this meeting. And there is no expression to express my happy to be with our friends here. And thanks so much for everything. Hope you have a double life.
Thank you.
Alan, do you want to go?
Yeah, sure. And Steve's influence continues now. He's working with one of our young engineers named Will at NASA, who's probably one of the top people I've ever known out at NASA. And somehow Steve can inspire people to do stuff. I don't know how he does it, but Will is really into looking at applying the double-double to some of our structures that we're looking at. So it's, Steve, somehow I don't know how you do it, but you really inspire people. I remember about 12 years ago, I had been publishing some papers and so forth in composites and was wondering, does anyone ever care about this stuff? And one day my phone rang and I answered it and it was Steve Tsai. And we talked for about, an hour or so, after which I had talked myself into doing some tests for you. And at any rate, but I realized, Steve Tsai reads my stuff, I guess it's worth doing. So I went home and told Mindy that I talked to Steve Tsai today. She goes, who? I said, you know that chef you like? His dad. She goes, oh, yeah, Ming Tsai, yeah. So yeah, I know his dad now. So anyway, we look forward to keep working together, and I wish we could do more in person right now, but I can't even get into my own lab. So, but we'll do what we can, and luckily Will has some of the capability at home to do the analysis. So he's doing what he can, and when we get back in the lab, we're going to run some experiments, Steve. Happy birthday, and I wish Iris well.
Thank you so much, Alan. You have contributed so much to the credibility of what we do, because you check us every step, everything we claim. If it doesn't work, when we say first flight failure, you say, you can't find it. You do the test. There's no such thing. So regardless what you say in mathematics, in the physics, you don't look at the stress strain curve, it didn't show. You can't tell where it is. And this is just one of the examples of how you keep us honest. And all the work talk about the toughness, damage tolerance, and we learn so much. We learn so much. One of my students, a young lady went to your lab, and you were doing the CAI test. And she came back and told me, she said, I've never seen anybody so careful, because you will set it up, you will check it, you mic it, you check it, you check it. She was sort of impatient. How many times do you want to check? Well, if you want good data, you have to have a good discipline to do that. And you set the standard. You set the standard, and the data coming out of you and your magic data book that contains everything is something that people should learn. They should learn how to build a system so you'll have a credible data when you generate, and you're the best of it. Thank you so much for your contribution.
No,
Steve,
no problem. I enjoy it. Thank you.
Steve, we have Pranav. Pranav?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Hi, Prof. Tsai. Happy birthday. So, as everybody said, thanks a lot for everything you do. Knowing you have changed my life, and I think everybody here also agree to that. 13 years ago, when I was doing my PhD, finishing that, it was around 11 p.m. I thought, Saiwu, and I know your theory, everything. So for postdoc, let me send my resume. So I clicked send around 12 midnight, and I was about to go to sleep, and I heard a ping, and 1 o'clock, I got a response from you. Let's talk about it tomorrow. So I was in shock. I couldn't believe it. So I told my supervisor, everybody. So the next day we had a call, we start talking, and then I told you about me, and you told about what you do in your lab. So at last you asked me a question. Do you have any question? So I was so nervous and excited. I asked the dumbest question that ever was. I asked you, are you Tsai from the same Tsai with theory? It was, I was so shocked and nervous that it just popped out of my mouth. I knew that, but you laughed, and I was actually really scared after I asked that. You laughed and said, hey, why won't you come over for an interview? So I was okay, all prepared, nervous as usual. So I came to Boston, and that was the best interview I ever had in Blue Ginger. I sat next to you, ate a lot, well fed. So, and everything after that had changed my life. I came to know you, ma'am, and such all the wonderful people and friends here. I learned a lot from you, and wish you very happy birthday, health, happiness, and more to come. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much, Pranav. We have had more time, and you in particular remember when you were in Singapore, and then you stayed behind and put the book together, that Strength and Life of Composites. That was a beautiful record, and he went to Korea, and there's so many times, and you were at General Electric, and so we have really happy memories. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bob, can you, Bob?
Hi.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't known Steve for very long. And I think that the only thing I can say at this point is just how wonderful his family of friends are. And that alone impresses me greatly. And I hope that I'll have many more years to get closer to Steve. Thanks, Steve, for the help you gave me and the insights that you gave me. It's been very interesting work. And happy birthday.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Sanguk was one of the key persons who got me, because I had lost emails, and he connected me to the people who I asked him to, and we had a lot of conversation between to get the connections to the right, to the lost emails. So he was the one who got Henry Yang and Han, Tom Han, and one more person.
Brand Kim.
Go ahead.
So happy birthday, Professor Tsai. So maybe this is the first time I try to memorize the time when we meet and talk to you. So that was 1992 when I was a mere graduate student from Korea, and you were so gracious to take me as give me the opportunity to start the PhD student and went through the PhD coursework and postdoc, and even gave me the job at Right Path. That was amazing, and then helped me in getting the citizenship so I can survive in US, and I live longer in US than in Korea. I really appreciate you being so helpful and inspirational. You cannot imagine how I appreciate your motivation, but I cannot touch your tip of the iceberg of you have. I try to reach, but it's impossible. But please understand my appreciation, and also hopefully I wish you have long life to find not only the Tsai modulus, but Tsai strengths in one day.
Well, thank you so much. I remember all the wonderful years we had in the U.S., in Korea, in Japan, and you were helping me out at the time. There was a argument with the Boeing people, and you were trying to go there. This was the John Goss, and you were there to defend us. And he was very upset because you're the one that understands mechanics, whereas Professor Miyano is the theory on viscoelasticity, not the standard mechanics that John Goss talked about. And so I remember all those wonderful years, and the CDWs that Professor Miyano and I put together, and you and your family were there on many occasions. I remember the one in Paris in particular, you were there. And so it was wonderful years, and you were able to help us, and workshops and everything else. Thank you so much.
Steve, next is Clemens.
Yeah, thank you very much, Steve. We know each other for only a few years, but I know you much longer. When I was a student 30 years ago, you were already a hero, and you taught us for many decades so many different things. And I must say you're an invariant yourself. From whatever side you're looking at Steve Tsai, it's always Steve Tsai. So he's invariant, definitely. And I think when I look back in what I have heard about you, what I have read about you, the way you've treated your students and your scientists, I think was always invariant. Yeah? Like I have got to know you the last years, and this is really very important. And I think we should not always talk about Tsai's failure criteria. When I take a look at my screen here, I see one of the finest aggregations in composites engineering. And so therefore we should talk more about Tsai's growth and fusion criteria and expansion criteria, because the way you treat people, and also me and also my students, is very impressive, because you're so open, and you invited me to join the group, and this was a very intensive period of my life, and therefore I'm really, really thankful, and I wish you all the best, and all the best for you. May your happy moments multiply, Steve. So this is, sorry, Thierry, this is an Italian wine, a good one. And all the best to you. May your happy moments multiply, Steve. And you're the best example how we should get older as well. Yeah, thank you. All the best.
Steve, at this point, I'll pass the word to the youngest, not youngest in age, but the newest entry to our your team, which is Aniello Rico and his friend Francesco DiCaprio.
Okay. Steve, can you hear me, Steve?
Yes, very well.
Yes, okay. I am very happy for you, and I wish you a very happy birthday. And I would like to say that I'm very honored to be in this team, and I hope that we will reach important milestone with the double-double, and I am sure of it. And we will put all our energies to do that. And just one thing I would like to say that is quite ridiculous, that when you send me your first email regarding the fuselage, I didn't understood. I didn't understand that it was you. So I passed the email to one of my PhD students, and I said that there is a PhD student that is called Tsai that would like to to collaborate with us for the fuselage. And after about some minutes, my PhD student said, "But this is the real Tsai. It's the real one." And I said, "Okay." Thank you very much for sending me this message, and then we started this collaboration. I hope that it will be very fruitful, and for sure I am enjoying very much up to now. So I would like to continue to do that. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Can I? Can you hear it?
Yes.
Yeah. So I have no story to talk about me and Professor Tsai, but I hope to have them in the near future. I would like to say only a few words to express my feeling. This is a special day for a special person which deserves a special celebration. So I pleasure to be here with all of you, and for wishing to Professor Tsai, they filled with happiness and the year filled with joy. Happy birthday. Buon compleanno.
Well, I just like to add, as between two of you, you're so diligent. You're so diligent and so responsive, and you were able to accomplish. We started about the first week of March now, so it's only 4 months, and that you have really taken the lead on how to convert a ordinary structure into a double-double structure, and with all the effort in programming and the documentation. And it's something that we hope the world will benefit because what you people have done, and to be able to advance in such a fast. Well, what drew me to your work was the model for the fuselage, and with such a detail. And so it was a perfect case. I tried to do that at Stanford, and we had with a Boeing, we had a 777 model. So I try to get the students to do that. I say, you convert to composites, because you have all the internal loads, and it's very easy to do. But they just couldn't do it. Nobody wants to take the time. But you people took the time. And then you discover what the opportunities are. And we're only in the beginning, actually. There's a lot of things we can do together. And I'm very happy that you people have been so diligent and so dedicated and so caringly and do this work, because we didn't pay you anything. And you did it because you see the opportunity, and it was really incredible and accomplishment. And for that, I'm very, very grateful for your effort. And we will hope that the better things are yet to come, because I think I should thank you so much.
Thank you to you.
So
thank you.
Steve, now what I'd like to say is that we have almost everybody who was supposed to be on this call, except that there's Sung Hao supposed to be on the call. I don't know whether he slept or what happened to him. And there was Giuseppe Catalanotti, which I don't see. He was there initially, and I don't see him right now. And there was Sachin, who wanted to wish you, and I don't see him either. So with this, I'd like to say one thing, and that is that this is a birthday, happy birthday for you from all of us, but and with the warmest wishes from the bottom of our hearts. But at the same time, it's the birth of something new, which has your name on it, which I think will go for time immemorial, and it won't have a life of it'll have a life of its own. It won't have a human life. And so long as people will use composites and orthotropic materials, that thing will be there. So that is what I wanted to say.
Well, that's so nice of you to think about it and to have done it, and to have the opportunity for me to have face-to-face talk with so many people. And it's incredible on the part of you and the others who helped to make this possible. And I really firmly believe that the better days are coming. As you noticed today, this morning, that we have a chance to work with Delft. I didn't ask you, but I hope you will, if they to support an internship. And we have an online workshop we're going to have in 3 weeks, and we will have many of the students, and we waive their registration fee, because for us it's very important to have them, and it is much easier for us to deal with the students than it is with the established professionals, because the professionals have their own prejudices, have their own reasons not to go anything new, because their investment on the database, on the equipment, or the methodology, and so forth. There are all kinds of reasons for not doing it. Then is reason for doing it. So our latest strategy is to work with the students. And some of you did. Clemens did very well with his students, and so we would expect to expand that. And there are many things we can learn, and to be able to see the double-double will eventually replace the quad. So with that, we thank all of you, and you in particular, because you and we have a very open atmosphere, because we don't always agree everything with everybody, but at least we want people to say it without recrimination. In other words, you say something we don't like. It's not whether we like. It's not what we like or not. It's that's the way a person sees it, and then expresses it, and that you should take into consideration. And to have all the people around us, and so it's such a privilege, and that again we'd like to thank all of you, and for some of you stay up all night or get up in the morning, and but we hope again better days are coming, and then we will continue to go. Thank you again. And we thank Laura. I'm only sorry, Laura, that Iris couldn't be here, and she's still sleeping, as a matter of fact, and because she has a problem. But she finally walked for the first time, unassisted. She used a walker yesterday. She did that, so it's a breakthrough for us, and we're very, very happy. So hopefully she'll be able to regain her walking, and that is it's a huge thing for us. And again, many thanks for all of you, and again, we work as a team. We work as a team, and everything we gain is we gain individually, hopefully. But the more important thing is, as a team, we can move fast. We try to move, because there are challenges. There are all kinds of challenges. But I think we're doing the right thing. Again, many thanks for this. Is totally a surprise. And as you mentioned, you say we have this, and it's a surprise you were able to get all the people, and a surprise you have that article for the.
Thank
for
you.
A round of applause for Professor Tsai. Everybody, yeah. Everybody unlock your mics, and then a round of applause for him.
All right, everybody, there'll be a recording, and this recording will be put online for anybody to pick up. Have a great evening, great morning, and that's it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
All the best.
Okay.
Bye. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
All the best. Bye bye.
All the
Bye.
best.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye to all of you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Steve.
Bye bye.
Okay. Thank you. Hello.
Steve.
Bye.
And now celebrate, Steve.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
I will. I get the Italian wine.
Yes.
Great.
Okay,
Ja,
Philippe.
nobile.
Bye, bye, everybody.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All the best,
You.
everyone.
So,
Who will be last?
okay, Philippe with smash him in the face.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Okay.